Going live in 3, 2, 1.
Good evening and welcome to Xenia City Council meeting. Tonight is Tuesday, December 29th, 2020. We're meeting at 5:45 and we had just came out of a short executive session. So at this time, I will ask for a call to order. We will have a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Levi Dean. If you could all give us a moment of silence for just a few seconds. I'd also like to remember those that have suffered losses in our neighboring state of Tennessee and Nashville, and my prayers go out to them. Councilman Dean, whenever you're ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Thank you, Councilman Dean. At this time, I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Councilman Scrivens. Present. Councilwoman Dean.
Here.
Councilman Branham.
Here.
Councilman Dean.
Here.
Mayor Mays.
Here.
President Smith.
Here. I also would like the audience to know I'm Zooming today just for safety. Just had some symptoms that I don't have COVID. I was tested negative, but I'm just staying my distance and trying to be a good citizen and keeping my germs at home when I don't feel good. So next on our agenda is the approval of minutes from the December 10th, 2020 regular meeting. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved, Mr. President. Mayor.
Thank you. Motion by the mayor. Do we have a second to accept the minutes?
I'll second that. Councilman Branham.
Thank you, Councilman Branham.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion regarding the minutes before us? All right, not seeing any. Roll call to accept the minutes.
Councilman Scrivens.
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Branham.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor Mays.
Aye.
President Smith.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is special presentations. We have none scheduled for tonight, nor do we have any audience comments that were submitted to the city clerk by 3 o'clock. So next on our agenda is old business. Our first item is resolution 2020-MM, the second reading. This is declaring the necessity for and authorizing the transfer of funds by the city of Xenia from the general obligation bond payable fund to the general fund and directing the finance director to prepare and forward a petition for said transfer to the Ohio Tax Commissioner pursuant to Ohio Revised Code sections 5705.15 and 5705.16. This was introduced by Councilman Scrivens at our last meeting.
Mr. President, I'd like to move approval.
Thank you. Move for passage by Councilman Scrivens. Do we have a second?
I'll second that. Levi.
Seconded by Councilman Dean.
Thanks.
Any discussion regarding this resolution? Not seeing any. Roll call, please.
Councilman Scrivens.
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Branham.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor Mays.
Aye.
President Smith.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. We have no public hearing scheduled for tonight. Our next item is new business. Our first item is ordinance 2020-31, titled an emergency. This is amending ordinance 2020-30 to provide appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the city of Xenia for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Duke, would you like to discuss this, please?
Yes, thank you, Council President. Every year, at the end of the year, Council's requested to pass an emergency ordinance for appropriations. This is kind of a housekeeping ordinance that helps us to close out the year. After we've posted all the expenses, revenues, we take a look at the books and see what things may need to be tweaked or addressed. There are just a few things here this evening that we're requesting additional appropriations for as we close out the year. There's an appropriation in personnel in the Human Resources Department, an appropriation in personnel in the cab building personnel budget. These are some pretty minor amounts, and these are small departments with very few employees, and so any tweaks in health insurance or anything like that throughout the year can create the need for some additional appropriations. There are two appropriations in the 290 fund. That's our coronavirus relief fund. These are the largest appropriations we're requesting tonight. What happened, according to the bill, is that as local governments had a deadline to use the first round of coronavirus dollars, those dollars that weren't used, they had to send back to the county, and then the county redistributed those. So we used all of our dollars. There were some other municipalities or local governments throughout the county who didn't use all of theirs, so those dollars went back to the county redistributed them, and so we then used those dollars that were distributed to us for the same purpose for police and fire personnel, and so that's what we're requesting these appropriations for, so that we can use those dollars for that purpose. So that's, again, kind of a housekeeping item there. We're also requesting a $10,000 appropriation in the 601 fund. That's a interfund loan repayment, so the general fund had loaned 601 some dollars, and this is $10,000 needed to repay that loan to the general fund. And then finally, an appropriation in the garage fund. This is an amount that is really just an expense on the books. There's no exchange of cash, it's depreciation. We charge depreciation to our garage fund for items that were purchased by our general capital improvement fund, and so that's the appropriation that's being requested there. So we're requesting appropriations tonight for that purpose, and this will be the last appropriation ordinance of the 2020 year.
All right, thank you, Mr. Finance Director. At this time, I will open the floor for a motion to amend this ordinance as an emergency.
I will make that motion.
Thank you. Motion by Councilman Branham as an emergency. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by the mayor. Thank you so much. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Any discussion regarding this ordinance tonight? All right, not seeing any. Mr. Duke, can I get a roll call, please?
Councilman Scrivens?
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Branham?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Mayor Mays?
Aye.
And President Smith?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. Your next item B, is ordinance 2020-32. This is also titled an emergency. This is providing temporary appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures for the city of Xenia through March 31st, 2021, declaring an emergency. Mr. Holloway, would you like to explain this, please?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. Each December, staff asks council to appropriate a temporary budget to authorize expenditures in the short term until council passes a final budget. This just ensures continuity of services until the final budget's passed. The final budgets per charter needs to be adopted prior to April 1st. So this temporary appropriation ordinance is just through March 31st. Adoption of this is not adoption of the final budget. That will be a separate item we'll bring to you probably in January. Staff recommends City Council to pass this emergency ordinance to make temporary appropriations for expenditures beginning January 1st, 2021.
All right, thank you very much, Acting City Manager, for tonight. I'll open the floor to accept this ordinance, which is a temporary appropriation, as an emergency. Do I hear a motion?
I'll motion that as an emergency.
Thank you. That's motion by the mayor. And do we have a second?
I'll second, Mr. President.
Seconded by Councilman Scrivens. Thank you. Any discussion regarding this? All right. I'm not seeing any, so at this time, I'll ask for a roll call, please.
Councilman Scrivens?
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Branham?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Mayor Mays?
Aye.
President Smith?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. Our next item, item C, is an administrative motion. This is authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with ETCH with LTD for the citywide GIS implementation plan. Mr. Holloway, would you care to explain that?
Yep, thank you, Mr. President. So as council's aware, the engineering division's been trying to build up our GIS data systems for a while. This is essentially the digital maps of all the pipes and infrastructure in the city. The engineering division solicited qualifications from several design firms to develop a citywide GIS system. We received 8 responses, and a group of staff selected Etch Ltd. To move forward with the implementation plan. Etch anticipates that all the tasks as part of this system implementation will be completed by midsummer. It's the recommendation of city staff that council, by administrative motion, authorize the city manager to execute the contract with Etch for GIS implementation at a not-to-exceed price of $94,350.
All right, thank you very much. At this time, I will ask for a motion to authorize the city manager to execute this contract.
I'll motion.
We have a motion.
Sorry. I will go.
By Councilwoman Dean. Thank you for raising your hand. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilman Dean. Any discussion regarding this motion for tonight?
Real quick, Council President.
Roll call, please.
I think there is a question, actually.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, my apologies. Who has the question? Just raise your hand and go ahead. Thank you, Councilman Random.
That was solely, sorry. This is just solely for the background infrastructure for the GIS. This doesn't include any of the technology that the actual GIS analyst is going to use to be able to pinpoint the markers or anything like that, correct? Like,
Yeah, this is just for essentially setting up the system, combining all the maps and different systems we have currently into one that we can use going forward. So eliminating redundant data, validating that the data is accurate, setting up the infrastructure, I guess. Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Overlay type of situation.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, I'm sorry, Councilman Random, did you get your question answered okay?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So if there's no other questions, roll call, please.
Councilman Scrivens?
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Branham?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Mayor Mays?
Aye.
President Smith?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. Our next item is an administrative motion. We're reappointing 1 member to civil service and 2 members to planning and zoning. And if it's okay, Councilman Branham, I'm going to let you read this. If you have that in front of you, if you want to go ahead, excuse me, and read this administrative motion for me.
Yes, sir. Basically reappointing 1 member to Civil Service Commission and 2 members of Planning and Zoning. The city's Board of Commissions volunteers are an essential part of local government and are comprised of city residents who have a desire to serve their community. 1 member's term of Civil Service Commission, Ms. Amy Hall, and 2 members' terms of Planning and Zoning Commission, Mr. Jeff Vaught and Mr. Tyler Ritchie, are due to expire on December 31st, 2020. All 3 have expressed their desire to be reappointed. Please note the following. Ms. Hall has served on CSC since she was appointed on February 9th, 2017. Mr. Vaught has served on PZC since he was appointed on May 26, 2016. Previously serving on the Traffic Commission in 2015 and earlier in 2016. Mr. Ritchie has served on PZC since he was appointed on January 26, 2017. The City of Xenia is fortunate to have dedicated citizen volunteers who wish to continue to grow their time and abilities. It is recommended that Council make 2 separate motions for these reappointments as follows. And Mr. Smith, would you like to make the first motion?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for reading that for me. So we'll do 2 separate motions. So our first motion, and I'll accept the motion on the floor, to appoint Ms. Amy Hall to Civil Service Commission with a term ending December 31st, 2025. Who would like to make that appointment?
Move to reappoint, Mr. President.
Is that Councilman Scrivens?
Yes, sir, I move that we reappoint Ms. Amy Hall to the
Thank you.
to the Civil Service Commission.
Thank you. A motion on the floor to reappoint Amy Hall by Councilman Scrivens. And then do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Rebecca Dean, Councilwoman. Thank you. Any other comments regarding this reappointment? All right, not seeing any. Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilman Scrivens.
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Branham.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor Mays.
Aye.
President Smith.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Next is a motion to reappoint Mr. Jeff Fott and Mr. Tyler Ritchie to Planning and Zoning Commission with a term expiring December 31st of 2024. And this would be for both gentlemen for a 4-year appointment. Mr. Branham, would you like to make that motion? Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion by Councilman Branham, and
I'll second.
I'm looking for a second.
I'll second.
Seconded by, who's that, Rebecca Dean? Thank you very much. Appreciate the hard work, Planning and Zoning contributes. If we have no other discussion, roll call, please.
Councilman Scrivens.
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Branham.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor Mays.
Aye.
President Smith.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. All right, next on our agenda is administrative motion. This is approving the schedule of bills in the amount of $442,210. Mr. Finance Director, would you like to discuss that?
I have nothing specific to share related to the bills this evening.
All right, thank you very much. Nothing special on the schedule of bills other than what's stated. So we have a motion to pay the bills tonight.
Mr. President, I have a question.
Okay,
For the Finance Director, sir.
well, go ahead, Councilman Scrivens, what was your question first?
On page 10, the bleed control kits, just a comment. You never know when you may have to stop bleeding. Miss Natalie Sherry over at the Green Memorial Hospital, she's the trauma department manager. She offers a personal one-on-one course on Stop the Bleed. I've taken the course. I recommend it highly. You never know when you will have to stop bleeding. So just wanted to make that statement because I saw we're buying kits. And then also, please, sir, on page 12, where we have the replacement of a light at the roundabout, there was a person there who had called me regarding the intensity of the light, and I see one light does have a shield around where it would illuminate her bedroom. So she's real happy about that. I don't know how it all got to be where it is, but I'm happy. So I just wanted to make that comment. So that's the...
Thank you, Councilman Scrivens. All right, any other questions regarding the schedule of bills for tonight? All right, not seeing any, so the motion to approve the bill, or I'm sorry, I give you a motion before we do a roll call.
So
A motion to pay the bills by Councilman Dean, and then seconded, I'll second, or Councilman Branham, thank you for getting your hand up. Roll call, please.
Councilman Scrivens.
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Branham.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor Mays.
Aye.
President Smith.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you very much. All right, I gotta get to my other notes here. Okay, so our next item is item F. This is an appointment. This falls under new business. This is an appointment of a member to the vacant council seat for the term ending December 31st, 2021. In summary, Vice President Edgar Wallace's death on December 2nd left a vacancy on the city council. Per our city charter 4-05, council must fill the vacancy within 60 days, or by January 31st, 2021. A press release was issued on December 11th soliciting letters and resumes from qualified candidates. The application deadline was 5 o'clock on December 21st. and City Council was fortunate to receive 8 applications from very qualified candidates. All 8 candidates were interviewed on Tuesday, December 22nd. The appointed member will serve until December 31st, 2021. The remaining 2 years of the unexpired term will be filled by a vote of the electorate at the November 2nd, 2021 general election. So in summary, at this time, I will entertain nominations for an appointment to fill a council vacancy with a term ending on December 31st, 2021.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to place in nomination Mr. Will Urschel.
Thank you very much. We have a nomination for Will Urschel. Do we have a second? Okay, I'll second that. At this time, I will also open the floor if there are additional nominations.
I'd like to make a nomination
Yes.
for
Mayor Mays.
Faith Cerise.
I'll second that.
I'm sorry, I lost audio.
I'll second that, but then I'd also like to make a nomination for Dale Lauterbach.
Okay, I got the motion for Mr. Urschel and the second, so now we have a nomination for Ray Lauterbach.
Well, you missed Faith.
The mayor did Faith, and Councilwoman Dean seconded that, and then.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, that's where my audio cut out, so I didn't catch that. So we have a nomination for Faith Cerise, and by the mayor, and a second?
By Rebecca
Is that
Dean.
correct? Okay, all right, and then we have a nomination for Mr. Dale Lauterbach. We have a second for that.
I'll second that.
Then a second by Councilman Branham. Then I just want to check if our city clerk's catching all these, if I missed anything. Is she doing?
You're good.
Okay, so we have 3 nominations. We can continue to nominate. If anyone has any other names, or I'll close the nominations and we'll go to a vote.
Mr. President, I move that the nominations be closed.
Okay, we have a motion to close the nominations. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Dean. Okay, so at this time, sorry, I want to make sure I'm doing this.
No, there's no vote.
I didn't think so.
It's at the bottom of number 2.
I was like, what? That's all right.
Big giant letters.
With an asterisk.
If I can insist, the process would be, you are going to ask for a roll call on each of the 3 names in the order that they were nominated. You will continue to vote on those 3 names until one of the names receives 4 votes. At that point, the voting will stop.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so our first nomination is for Will Urschel. So we are now voting for the appointment of Will Urschel. Could I get a roll call on this, please?
Councilman Scrivens.
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean.
Nay.
Councilman Branham.
Nay.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor Mays.
Aye.
President Smith.
Aye.
That's 4 votes, so motion carried.
Mr. Chairman, I believe I heard 4 ayes.
Yes, that's what I have, yes.
Okay, the first candidate then has received a majority of the votes. That person is appointed to the vacant council position, and you do not vote on the remaining nominations. That's Robert's Rules of Order.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Law Director, for chiming in there. But certainly, nobody wanted to fill the seat left by the pastor and Vice President Wallace, and our prayers are still with his family and his congregation at this time. Next on our city council agenda was reports of committees. Not sure if we've had many meetings, but I'll open this up. Planning and Zoning Commission, Councilman Brandon.
Yes, so on December 15th, 2020, we met in a special meeting to consider a conditional use request to demolish an existing home and construct a driveway to serve an existing shed on property located at 1468 North Detroit Street for county maintenance purposes, filed by Greene County Parks and Trails. Only 3 members were present. The remaining 2 members were declared a conflict of interest with the county. And the vote was 2-1. Therefore, PZC failed to take action. The conditional use request would have proceeded to City Council for consideration, but Greene County Parks and Trails withdrew the request for the conditional use.
All right, thank you very much for that report. Any questions for Councilman Brandon on planning and zoning? All right, not seeing any. Thank you for that report, Mr. Brandon. Next is Board of Zoning Appeals. Mayor Mays, do you have anything to report tonight?
We did not meet due to lack of agenda items. Thank you, sir.
What was that?
We did not meet.
No meeting, thank you.
Thank you.
No meeting in December. All right,
Wrong
so
one.
next is
Sorry.
appointed official reports, council comments. Tonight, our acting city manager is our assistant manager, Mr. Holloway. Do you have anything for us tonight?
Just remind the public that the city building will be closed Thursday and Friday for New Year's. And wish everyone a Happy New Year.
All right, thank you very much. I'm still with you guys. Next is our finance director, Mr. Duke.
I have nothing this evening.
I'm gonna go ahead because I know I'm next.
I'm so sorry.
You are fine. I didn't have anything to add other than to wish you all a happy and healthy new year. Hopefully, next year we'll start getting back to normal.
Thank you very much. All right. Madam Law Director, thank you, Mr. Finance Director. Moving around the table, all finished with the mayor. So this time, Councilwoman Dean, do you have anything tonight?
I just hope everybody has a happy new year and have a good Christmas too. I forgot about that.
Thank you. Great, thank you very much. The other spectrum, Councilman Brandon, do you have anything tonight?
Nothing further from me, just everybody have a good New Year.
Thank you, Councilman Brandon. Councilman Scribbins.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just wanted to say, Xenia as a town, we made it through probably the roughest year we had in quite a while. And thanks to our finance director, he's kept us afloat. We're not running a deficit. As a matter of fact, we're all good in all the key operating accounts. And I want to thank the city clerk for all the work she's done all year. This has been monumental. Nobody knows. I see her behind the scenes, getting everything set up and in place for us to operate. It's just been one tumultuous time, but we've made it this far. And we've got just a little further to go. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if we see the light, then that's part of it. So I just thank everybody for everything that they've done all year to make Xenia a good place to live. And that's what it's about. It's where we live and how we want to make it better. And that's what we all agree on, and that's a good thing. Just wanted to also say that we lost a number of good people this year. I won't go back and enumerate all of them. We all know who they were and what they stood for, and we have to honor their legacy by doing things that we know that they would want us to do. So with that, Mr. President, I'm looking forward to 2021, and I want to congratulate Councilman-elect Urshel. Well, he's elected now, so Councilman Urshel, he'll have to be sworn in, so he's still Councilman-elect. And I just think that for the next year, Xenia's going to apply the course for takeoff. So we'll be on the ground taxiing, and when we get there, it'll be time for us to take off and fly back into hospitality the way we were before COVID came. So thank you, Mr. President, and God bless everyone, and have a great new year. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Scrivens. Next is Councilman Dean.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd just like to say, hope everyone had a good Christmas and have a good year. I would also like to say that the appointment was not an easy choice. It's probably been the hardest choice that I've had, at least, here on the council, and probably one of the hardest that everyone else has had. All 8 members were supremely qualified and all had very, very good backgrounds of service. And so we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you, Councilman Dean. Next is Mayor Mays.
Thank you, Mr. President. That was well said. Councilman Dean, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. And as far as official calendar, I really only had one thing. Holly Arvin's 3rd grade class at Arrowwood, we had a chance to do a Christmas story via Zoom, and that was a lot of fun. It was fun to see the kids, and just another shout out to our teachers who are doing their best to keep kids interested and online and keeping school going. I cannot imagine. So I have a chance to meet with 2 more classes in the upcoming weeks, and just want to applaud our teachers for the work that they're doing with their kids. That's all as far as official business. As we said, a belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. It is a hard season for many of us who have lost loved ones. It's hard for some of our kids, a lot of our kids who have tough family stories behind them, and the holidays are a pretty strong trigger for a lot of our kids. So I say that just to hang in there, parents, and to love on your neighbors well, check on each other, pray for each other, because Christmas and the New Year's are great, but it's hard for a lot of families. So thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor Mays. I'll just end by saying 2020 has been a hard year. I'm glad to see it go, and I'm looking forward to bigger and better things in 2021. And I would also reach out with my appreciation to all 8 candidates who gave up their time, went through the interview process. We interviewed all 8 candidates, and it was discussed that everyone felt, literally every candidate is qualified to serve on this council. So again, I appreciate those other applicants, and City Clerk will be notifying everyone of the outcome on that. Also like to remind council that next is an executive session. So at this time, I would ask for a motion to move into executive session to discuss the purchase or sale of property pursuant to City Charter 206.04 and ORC 121.22, and also pending litigation pursuant to City Charter 206.04 and ORC 121.22. Do I have a motion to go into executive? Okay, I have a motion by Councilwoman Dean, and do we have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by the mayor. Any discussion? All right. We'll do a roll call, and then I would like to remind the public, after we come out of executive, it is not our intention tonight, I believe, for us to conduct any further business. So as we move into executive, the meeting will end for the public, and then we will return. So roll call, please.
Councilman Scrivens?
Aye.
Councilwoman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Brand?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Mayor May?
Aye.
President Smith?
Aye.
Motion carried.